I would really like to hear your thoughts on this Wake Forest happening. Mark, just so you know, Army was contacted and by Wake Forest as part of their investigation today. Of course, Army has played Wake Forest 3 straight years, and have ties to the Army program as well.
Yes. So my thoughts are pretty simple, and this is coming from someone who hasn't really read into the details. I've seen the headlines, I've seen the TV reports sitting at my desk during the day and tried to catch and gather as much as possible. But, I've got a lot of information in front of me that has yet to be read. So I'm going to take this from a Louisville perspective, which is completely inexcusable. So they were presented with information, confidential information, and they accepted it. And regardless of what the AD had to say concerning how insignificant in quantity that information was, or insignificant in regards to how much it was used, that just is just a violation that I'm hoping incurs some pretty severe discipline for that football program.
Yeah, this story gets stranger and stranger. I'm hoping a similar occurrence didn't happen up at Army, especially coming off the big win against Navy. But from the Louisville perspective, as you was talking about it, what other coach in the nation has less credibility than Bobby Petrino?
No one that I can think of, because basically he's been in now 4 separate situations that are some of the uglier situations we've seen out of any coach. And then if you look at the entirety of the program coming outside of the college football world with Rick Pitino and what he's been involved in and what's gone on, he's allowed to go on campus. And of course, he claims complete ignorance of the situations. And we both know that that's probably not the case. The head coach typically knows what's going on, and he's allowed some pretty severe activity to go on campus. So Louisville's gaining a reputation as a school that, because of the place that they're in that kind of middle tier, that they are going to go for the coach that can really produce on the field, get the big athletes, win games, and play with the big boys, but you may suffer on the back end every so often when some things are uncovered that are less than scrupulous.
Yeah, just back to the Wake perspective, I couldn't believe that it was a player who had coached there for 11 years after that. I don't know that I remember any more insidious homegrown attack on a program than what we're reading about at Wake Forest. I mean, coaches go from here or there. They graduate somewhere, they become a GA somewhere else. They coach somewhere for 4 or 5 years, and they move on. And coaches talk to each other. But I don't know that I remember any other instance in college football where a guy who played there and coached there and pretty much his whole career has been there at Wake Forest and just selling out a program like that. No matter how ineffective it may have been, according to some of the other competitors, but just selling out a program like that, I don't know that I remember any case like that. That's why it's such a compelling story for me.
All right, Mike, I appreciate the breakdown specifically on Tennessee football. So we'll release that as a separate segment for folks to get your perspective on the Vols as they prepare for Nebraska and head into the offseason with a number of questions at hand. So Mike LaValle from Last Word on Sports joining us again here on College Football Coast to Coast. Thank you so much, Mike.
Thanks, Mark. Always a pleasure to be on.